Hello students, welcome to day 3 of mathematical theory of interest class. In today's class we will continue our discussion that we have left in the previous class. So in today's lecture we will discuss about the simple interest, about the compound interest, simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest, I will give you a brief introduction about simple interest. A simple interest is basically when the interest is calculated only on the principal amount. It is called simple interest, and we will not calculate the interest on the interest earned amount. We will only need to calculate the simple interest on the principal amount. While in compound interest, we are supposed to calculate interest on total amount. What is total amount? Total amount is the principal amount plus the total interest earned before that period. That will be total compound interest. So simple interest, when you first deposit money in a saving account, your deposit is called principal, and the bank takes the money and invest it. In return, the bank pays you interest based on the interest rate. Simple interest is paid only on the principal value. As I told you, this is the mathematical formula to calculate the simple interest amount, in which I is equal to PRT. I is the interest amount, simple interest amount. P is the principal amount, R is the real rate of interest per year, and T is the time in years. So in this example, here is an example. From this example you will get a very clear understanding about how we can calculate the simple interest amount. Suppose you deposit $400,000, $400 in a saving account, and interest rate is 5% per year. We are supposed to find the interest earned in 6 years. Find the total principal plus interest at the end of 6 years. So first of all, we need to calculate the interest earned in 6 years. The formula for interest is I is equal to PRT. P is 400, R is 0.05, which is 5%, and T is 6. So after multiplying all these three values, 400 multiplied by 0.05 multiplied by 6, finally we can get $120 as total interest earned in 6 years. And in 1 year the interest payment is 20. And when we then we will add principal amount and total interest earned in 6 years. Principal value was 400 and total interest earned is 120. So the total amount in our account will be $520 at the end of 6 years. Now moving further, here is another example. If the interest is being paid on quarterly basis, if the interest is being paid on quarterly basis, for the first quarter, in the interest, only difference in the calculation of interest payment will be the time period calculation. The total time period is 3 months, so we will just the fraction of 3 months against 1 year, then the t will be equal to 3 divided by 12, 1/4 or 0.25. By using the formula, we can get that 405 will be available in our account at the end of first quarter. 400 is the principal amount and 5 is the total interest earned in the first quarter. These are some more examples just for your clarification. You can just go through these questions by yourself. Now next one is the compound interest. Compound interest is when the bank pays interest on the principal amount and the interest already earned. I already told you about the difference between simple interest and the compound interest. The balance is actually the principal amount plus interest, and the balance of 1 year becomes the principal amount for the second year, principal amount for the next year. Now here is an example. We have taken this previous example to calculate the compound interest value. For example, you deposit $400 in an account that earns 5% interest compounded annually once per year. What is the balance in your account after 4 years? So this is a question of compound interest. So first of all, we need to calculate we will use the previous method to calculate the compound interest value at the end of 4 years. So at the start of first year we have 400 in our account. So first of all we will calculate the interest payment one by one, but it will take more time. Instead of using the simple interest method, we will use the compound interest formula. The compound interest formula will be equal to b is equal to p into 1 plus r raised to power n. B is the balance value at the end of a given time period, p is the principal amount, r is the rate of interest for each accounting period, n is the number of interest periods. Now we will use the simple formula. If the interest interest is calculated twice a year or semi-annually, then we will simply divide interest payment with 2. If the interest is being paid on monthly basis, then we will divide the interest with 12 to calculate the monthly interest rate. So we will use the same question, but here the interest is compounded semi-annually for 5 years. So the interest rate for compounding semi-annually will be, semi-annually mean 2 times in a year. So interest is 6% per year. We will divide it with 2. The answer will be 3% or 0.03. And against that, total time periods are actually the 5 multiplied by 2. It will be 10. 5 years, and because the interest is paid 2 times every year, so we will need to calculate the interest for 10 periods. By using the formula, finally we can get our answer, which is $1,343.92. That will be the balance available in our account at the end of 5 years compounded semi-annually. Here is another example. You can calculate this example by yourself, assuming that first of all you can assume that the interest is paid annually. Secondly, you can assume that the interest is paid semi-annually basis. Here are some more questions. You can just you can just calculate these questions or practice these questions by yourself. Now here is a summary of whole the discussion that we have already done. This is about the simple interest, this is about the compound interest, how the simple interest work. This is an example which shows step-by-step working of simple interest and the compound interest. Simple interest and compound interest. If you have already understand our previous discussion, you can easily understand these examples. You can easily now here is how you can compute the differences between simple interest and the compound interest payments. Now alternative method. What is the alternative method for calculating the compound interest? Alternative method is basically used to prove your answers. So here is the in alternative method we calculate the interest payment every year. Then at the end we will calculate our total amount. Now this is the amount of year at the end of first year, at the end of second year, and at the end of third year. This is all about our today's discussion. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next class.